Welcome to Offsite Dirt, the podcast committed to news and insight in the offsite construction industry. Join our team of experts covering modern methods of construction, high-performance build, lean manufacturing, prefab, and beyond. Here's the dirt on Offsite Dirt. We would like to thank our partner, Wesco, for being our official Offsite Dirt sponsor.
We provide innovative supply chain solutions every hour, every day, all around the globe. Our people roll up their sleeves and help create a world you can depend on. Focusing on the details, the challenges, and the unexpected, so that you can live life uninterrupted. Wesco. Ingenuity delivered.
Hello and welcome to Offsite Dirt. We're here for another episode talking about the marketplace and different products that come along. And when we have these opportunities to meet these different types of providers or material suppliers, it's really interesting to see that there are these great solutions that come along with it. Viega is one of those solutions. They do pipe fittings and other product solutions. And so we have two special guests with us. We have Will Dutcher and we also have Nick Cameron. Thank you guys for being here. How are you today?
Thank you, Audrey. Happy to be here.
Yep, thank you.
We're glad both of you are here. And I'm going to start off with you first, Will. If you wouldn't mind, just give us a little bit of your background with the company.
Sure. So I'm Will Dutcher. I've been with Viega for about 8 years in various roles, ranging from product engineer up through product manager, market management, and now I lead our industrial technical sales group, where I'm meeting with some of the larger engineering firms and operating company groups to ensure our products are kind of bring awareness to our products and also ensure the fit for applications they can serve both on-site and off-site.
That's fabulous. And Nick, tell us a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. I'm Nick Cameron. I'm the product and manufacturing engineer at Liquitech. I've been in this role at Liquitech for 3 years. So my job is to manage the product design and provide support to the manufacturing team that builds our products. So I've got a degree in mechanical engineering and yep.
I love that. That's wonderful. It's always nice to have these engineer minds on our calls because the way that you guys think and calculate and put things together is like no one else I know. So thank you for both being here. We're going to kind of just jump in a little bit with our first question. And I'd really love to know what makes, Viega fitting stand up to the harsh transit conditions where traditional methods struggle.
Thanks, Audrey. So Viega is a 125-year-old company. Our claim to fame is press fitting technology. So we're effectively joining pipe and tube by deforming that fitting around the pipe or tube, utilizing an electric or battery-powered tool. We offer both Pro Press, which is a copper tube size fitting, as well as Mega Press, which is an iron pipe size fitting in various alloys, including stainless, carbon steel, copper. And Viega prides itself on the quality. We are an innovative technology. We're often a disruptor towards the traditional methods. And with that, we have to go above and beyond to ensure that we have testing to have installers believe in our product will withstand the harshest environments in North America. So the way our fittings are constructed, we have a sealing element that is sandwiched in between both sides of this press fitting. And when the tool deforms that fitting around the tube, it's going to sandwich that fitting in there. And so you have a metal-to-metal contact on both sides, and then a nice static seal to accommodate any of the imperfections in the pipe surface or handle thermal expansion contraction or some of the vibration that is often seen in transit. On the Mega Press side, we have a grip ring that accomplishes that tensile strength or the grip strength and really provides security for that fitting to withstand harsh conditions. So we pride ourselves in the testing atmosphere in that we subject these fittings to rigorous vibration, tensile, burst pressure, seismic events, and even impulse testing done by the Navy to make sure that our fittings perform at the highest level.
Amazing. Nick, I would love to know a little bit more about Liquitech. Can you give us a little bit more understanding of the correlation of how you guys and Viega work together?
Absolutely. Yeah, so at Liquitech, we provide a number of water treatment products focused on killing Legionella bacteria. So the majority of our products go out with a prefabricated plumbing to help make installation easier. And one of the things that we often ran into was solder joints that were cracking during transport. So before we shipped from our facility, we would pressure test systems. They would pass, they would look okay. We'd put it on a truck, and by the time they got to wherever the final destination was, potentially across the country, those joints would have cracked and weren't necessarily easily observable until pressure was introduced to the system. So at that point, obviously, it was a lot of difficulty in repairs and things happening like that on site. It's just it's something that caused a lot of stress. So as we've switched over to working with Viega, we haven't actually noticed any of those problems reoccurring. Those joints have been able to tolerate all of the vibration that the transit has introduced, and it's really solved that completely for us.
You know, it's really wonderful when you can have those examples and know that there's actually something out there that's making the solution for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's wonderful. And so when you're in the engineering space and you basically come to this client, how did you guys connect? How did that all happen?
Yeah, actually, I first heard of Viega through just word of mouth.
Love that.
Originally, what we had previously been doing is working with outside contractors to solder these systems.
Oh, wow.
The
So
nature of soldering was
it was a pretty involved situation, wasn't it?
absolutely, yeah, it's a skill. So really what that required was working with some outside people. That got to a point where lead times were very long and it was just kind of becoming cost prohibitive. At which point someone recommended, hey, check out Viega. So that kind of initially brought me to them, and then ever since it's been great.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. And Will, for the clients out there that are listening to this conversation, we're talking about press technology and we're talking about fittings, and we're talking about customer experiences. And that's what's so great to hear Cameron's experience and their company and being able to join you. How do you guys really help your customer? How does customer service come into this press technology?
Yeah, Audrey, it's really important that we ensure our partners and customers experience a positive track record with our technology. And we have structured our organization to offer in-field support, whether that's in your prefab environment or on a job site, where we can have some Viega personnel get on site, credential train, answer questions, provide the ongoing daily support. We also have seminar centers where I'm standing here now in Broomfield, Colorado, and Nashua, New Hampshire. These facilities, we can have our technical consultants either come to installers virtually, or we can bring them in to have a workshop and really get their hands on all the different types of solutions that we offer. And then we have engineering services where in the design and planning phase, we can work with engineers to look at the drawings, optimize their installation for press technology, utilizing our specific takeoffs and making sure that all of the fittings go together as expected. And so all of these different pieces really ensure that positive experience from an installer standpoint.
And isn't that important? Because we don't know what we don't know. And I think also from a company perspective, to be able to improve the way that we not only communicate, but install. And then from an engineering perspective, like Nick's perspective, we're also solving problems. So all of those things are certainly important. When you guys talk about, improving environmental challenges and things that are happening in the construction industry, can you give us a little bit of background of like timeline certainty or cost predictability or, avoiding those reworks? How do you guys solve those problems or how do you help your clients through those things?
Yeah, today is almost unprecedented in the challenges faced by the construction industry. I mean, we have some of the tightest timelines or the most aggressive timelines to get projects completed. We also pair that with a lack of skilled labor. Everybody's hungry to make sure that they have that contractor relationship or the installer who can actually complete the work. So Viega's technology allows more of that work to be taken in-house, we're improving safety, which is paramount for us in reducing the flame and fire risk, avoiding the fumes that installers might be inhaling, and reducing some of the contaminants on a job site, whether that's solvents, glues, or some of the just particles that you would want to avoid getting into a system that is being installed at a hospital, for instance. The predictability of our fittings, in that they can be pressed in seconds every single time and are not affected by the experience of the installer or the environment that he's doing work in, whether it's hot or cold, whether it's windy, our fittings can continue to be pressed in seconds, and that leads to cost certainty or timeline certainty, which leads to cost predictability. And it really improves the estimator's job because they can plan and actually execute to plan, and they have less variability in the timelines and things getting pushed. There's also the ability for other trades to work alongside, in that you don't have to quarantine an area off because some hot work is taking place. Other trades can work alongside and be productive as well.
So where have you seen you guys expand in the prefab and the assembly on site? Where has that really taken you? Is that a whole new division that you guys are working at? Because obviously we got to meet each other. I think it was at the Advancing Prefab event. And so you guys are really kind of entering into the offsite space, which I'm perfectly and excited about. Where are you seeing the expansion for your company?
Yeah, we see tremendous opportunities to really partner with companies that are focused on the prefab world. Some of the themes that we heard at that conference were moving some of the decisions and getting things more to the left in the timeline so that you have less variability and rework downstream that gets really expensive and potentially costly from a missed timelines or missed deadlines perspective. So we're really leaning into the prefab world. I think our solutions pair well with companies like Liquitech, who are kind of pioneers in the space and offering quick reaction times to hospital or really critical needs in terms of water quality and making sure that people can stay healthy.
Yeah, and that kind of brings the question, Nick, I would love to know what kind of industries you guys service and how this whole product has kind of changed all of that. I know you kind of gave us an example, but I'd love to have another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So in general, we service all industries, anywhere with drinking water. Certainly a focus on anywhere where there's patients or people with compromised immune systems. That's kind of where Legionnaire's disease typically is the biggest issue. So that kind of leads us into mostly medical buildings, some long-term nursing care facilities. So yeah, kind of just to piggyback off what Will was saying, the nature of a lot of our business is very urgent situations. It's not as many people coming people are typically coming with a problem. So lead times are a major deal for us. As I mentioned earlier, previously we had to work with a lot of outside contractors, skilled labor, to do these prefab plumbing skids. We've been able to bring all of that into our shop. That helps us control our lead times. That helps us control our costs. Really, the biggest thing for me is that what was 6 to 8 weeks, kind of pretty consistently, minimum really, can now be built in a day in our own shop. So when someone comes to us with an emergency, we're able to respond really quick. And that's been something it's really hard to understate the value of that, especially in this industry.
Oh my gosh, in any industry, right? When you can actually be able to do something on a timeline in a day, I think we all try to get there. Doesn't mean that we can make it happen, but to be able to have a product and be able to utilize that inside your own facility, that really is extraordinary. And to also know the solutions that really impact so many people. I mean, to be able to have water in a water system and know that that is critical in so many areas, it really does make a profound way of dealing with people and dealing with the industries that you guys do. So in your opinion, Nick, how long have you guys been with Viega?
Probably about 2 years.
So in 2 years' time, and then you've been able to bring this files, I'm guessing that there's been a pretty significant cost savings for you guys, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, our cost savings, just you can slice it a lot of different ways. The savings and cost alone of not having to do any any on-site repairs when systems would crack during shipping has been significant. That's something that a lot of times is out of our hand and never an easy thing to do once it's already installed in a medical facility. So that alone has been a huge cost savings. But then in general, to be able to control the whole ecosystem of it, to assemble it here, to build it here, it's been incredible.
Yeah, I think you're making a huge point. Being able to control your outcome is huge. So Will, in your opinion, when you're onboarding a new client or you're working with new providers or people from the offsite or prefab solution, how does that process work? Do they kind of connect with you? Do you guys look at plans? Is there just, is there a similar process that seems to happen over and over again? Or what has been your experience?
Yeah, we often get interest in many different forms, but the process of onboarding somebody new often takes a similar theme in that we will do some discovery to understand what are you focused on? Is your organization trying to grow? Are you trying to consolidate? Are you working like Nick to reduce some of the lead times? So we kind of want to understand what are your objectives and how can Viega plug into what you're focused on. And so maybe that is consolidating inventory to a single system that handles all of the applications that you're designing for. Maybe it's designing for increased packing density for shipments. So you can get more spools or prefab assemblies to the job site in a given truckload. So we'll work through some of your objectives, and then we'll, consult with you in terms of, do you need some of the engineering services that we can provide? Do you have any application requests that we can send through our team of chemical compatibility experts and offer a warranty to say, yes, these fittings are compatible with that application if it's outside of our approved applications chart. And then we'll just work through the project lifecycle with you to make sure at each step of the way you have representation, whether it's in your facility or virtually, or if you want to come visit one of our manufacturing or seminar centers.
Yeah, and tell me again, where are all your facilities at? It makes me so happy to hear that you have one in Colorado. Where was the other ones that you have?
Yeah, Viga's investing heavily right now in North America. We've seen such promise in the benefits that our technology can bring across the industries. So we have our North American headquarters is here in Broomfield, Colorado. I'm standing in our seminar center, which is one of the locations we can bring installers, engineers, owners, and designers into. We have a similar facility as this out in Nashua, New Hampshire on the East Coast, to cover our bases there. And then we have manufacturing and distribution centers throughout kind of the middle of the country from a north-south perspective. So from Reno, Nevada to McPherson, Kansas to Carlisle, Pennsylvania. And we just announced a new manufacturing headquarters or a new manufacturing location in Shalersville, Ohio, in an effort to bring more of the product that is sold in the North American market to be manufactured here in the North American market.
Amazing. Well, it looks like you have all the bases covered, and we're certainly happy that not only do you offer these services, but I think training is always key in any successful business. So in closing, Nick, is there anything else that you'd like to add about the Viega system?
I guess I would just I would like to emphasize that we have had zero quality issues in our 2 years. Viega has always gone above and beyond to get us parts when we need them, and to help even from the beginning. They helped us build our first prototype and test it. So it's been a pleasure to be a partner with them.
That's so wonderful. Gosh, testimonials like that just go so far. Will, in your perspective, I know that you guys are expanding, which is wonderful. You're kind of hitting into the prefab space. Anything that you see that's going to be coming on the horizon in 2025 for your company?
Yeah, so right now we're investing pretty heavily into valves and really expanding the offering that we have in the valve market. So whether it's ball valves or check valves, swing check valves, spring check valves, strainers, we want to provide a comprehensive portfolio that can be used across many different industries. Also transition couplings or transition fittings, so that somebody can go between dissimilar metals in a press by press solution to really just speed up the transition, not have to get flanges or thread processes involved that could compromise some of the integrity of the system.
Sounds amazing. And always to have a future of expansion is always key. Well, thank you guys so much for being here on Offsite Dirt. Will and Nick, it was a pleasure. I love that we have an understanding from Liquitech's, viewpoint and the success story that they have achieved. And Will, it's been so great to meet you several months before, and also to I actually worked on a pipe fitting. I did it myself. It was so much fun. And to see that we can actually bring your process in-house, or companies can actually take that and bring it there and really not only understand a process like Nick was saying with not spending the additional dollars, being able to train their own people with your staff, and knowing that there is the certainty of the product holding up to the greatest standards really speaks volumes for your company.
Yeah, Audrey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today and really getting to know you at Advancing Prefab. It is encouraging to feel like we can offer the opportunity to make pipe joining fun, and then really see the value in companies like Nick, where Liquitech is delivering safety and quality water systems to consumers around the world.
I love that. Nick, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It was great testimonial. It was great hearing your story. And the same for you. Viega is a very unique company and expanding all across the US. We love seeing that and seeing how we are changing the way that we work with fittings and water, and also all these safety features that we are utilizing in this company. So thank you both for being here. I'm Audrey Grabasic. This is Marketplace, and we can't wait to see you on the next one. That's the Dirt on Offsite Dirt.